Hello, welcome back to Otter Pop Culture. Today we're going over Allday's new album, Starry Night, over the phone. I just got done listening to it and like kind of thinking about what I felt about it. And so if you don't know, Allday is an Australian rapper who has more like he has more of a mumble rapping ish, but I feel like you can. But he talks about actual like deep. Well, some of them do too. But like he has a lot of his songs are way more direct about like more of his life and everything. And so for the longest time, I sat back and I was just like, because there's been a huge gap before his last album called Speeding, which is I love. I wish I could have like reviewed it back then, but it's a really great album if you haven't listened to it yet. And I think that was at 2016, I want to say. But he's been gone since then, and then he came back around like 2008 or 2018 and released Wonder Drug, and then went away again, and it came back this year and released his actual album. And so during that time, I was waiting for more of his albums. And he kept on like just doing like singles here and there, and so I was a little upset. And I was like, why is he just releasing these singles and not albums? And so I got upset, but then I realized that later on, as I was listening to this album, that there's a lot of things that happened, and there's a lot of reason why there's been a huge gap between him appearing. So with this album, we'll explain everything throughout what's actually been going on. This album is pretty much about what's been going on. So I'm gonna go through each song, and as I go down, explain more about what's going on during that gap and hiatus. So the first song is Restless, featuring the Veronicas. It's really cool to start off with the Veronicas. How amazing that him and Veronicas kind of collided as a collab. So this song is pretty interesting. It's completely different from what he usually does, because it has like more of a dance hall influence like sound production. And I like the song because it kind of sets the mood. And since I've listened to this whole album, there's a bit of depressing, like moodiness to it. But it just explains everything what has been going on. And this one's one of the ones I don't really have his relationships down, because he kind of talks about it throughout his other albums too. So I'm still trying to figure it out exactly what's been going on. But in this song, it's pretty much talking about what I got from it was the fact that he is talking about how restless, like his partner's very restless. Like she wants to go to all these places and try to find meaning inside this world right now, and it apparently takes a toll. It's been taking a toll on the relationship, because it comes off like she's not satisfied with what's going on, and he's very in love with her enough to where he's willing to go with it and kind of go through all her phases of stuff, like when she wants to be healthy and do smoothies for months, and then turn around and do something else, So it's just like it's definitely has a more restless. And I feel like Veronica's version in their chorus kind of explains that. She's like, you felt lately you've been very restless. Maybe you need some time, to kind of like level yourself out, Number 2 is Don't Want to Push You Away Anymore. This song is actually a very direct like relationship song, like for inside of his girlfriend, and it's pretty much is an apology for being too guarded around her, and it really breaks it down completely. It's something you don't really come across, like, oh, I'm sorry, I was so guarded and didn't really let you in a lot, and when all she wanted was that kind of thing. It's very interesting, and it kind of goes through those levels. Actually, now that I think about it, I think that he pretty much is explaining the relationship, and so it goes from like the restlessness of the relationship to where he kind of starts to apologize, and he's looking back at this relationship. So obviously this relationship is no more, but he's looking back at it, and he sees that he's like, and we're restless, but I also was very guarded towards you, so we kind of have a bit of a responsibility in relationship. But that's a really good song. Number 3 is Protection, which is one of the singles that he did before this album came out. I love the silky like guitar in this, and so you move into this part, and I really love it. Like, I love his lyrics in general. His whole lyrics in this whole album is amazing. Like one of the lyrics in this song is like all these angles, and you choose to be obtuse, and it's just like, and it kind of adds to the whole idea that she kind of just broke off from him very easily. He talks about that. He's like, you kind of broke like the breakup was way too easy for you to like just throw away. And so that kind of took effect on him. And also, like, it talks about how he doesn't really know what to do now. He's not under her protection. So obviously he has like, she was something good to him in some way. And without her, he has to, like, he had direction before. He didn't really know, like, it was her, but now that she's gone, he doesn't have any direction of what to do next, or how to go on with life and deal with like everything without her in it. So it's very interesting in that type of way. Number 4 is Atmosphere. So this is a really good song too, because now he switches it over and says that I feel like he points out like I feel like I'm to blame for how the relationship ended. You know, like he talks about like and I like he talks about pretty much just like all the things that that he added to the atmosphere of their relationship that just caused it to be toxic and toxic and toxic even more. One of the lyrics I like is a couple of drinks now, we're in motion, which is a nod to In Motion, which is a song that was on. I think it was the top single for his sophomore album, which is called Speeding. Once again, please listen to it. It's really, really good. It talks about his addiction and recovery from codeine, and it's amazing. It's very, like, I have never been on codeine or anything, or had an addiction, but it's interesting to see it in that point of view. It's very in more detail. Number 5 is See You When I See You, featuring Lindy Speck. Lindy Speck. So this song is really good. It's one of my favorite songs. I love when he kind of mixes with lyrics and everything, and he puts a little singing to it. The flow, the rap flow in this is amazing. There's a I gotta break this down a bit. So I have a lot of notes on this. So pretty much this song is pretty much about him being gone from Adelaide. So he lives in Adelaide. He was born he lived in Adelaide, and he moved from there to LA to start his career, to get, I'm assuming, to more get a like American fan base following in that side. So this song actually kind of talks about like he says like he talks about the moments of the times he missed during his hometown that like kind of went on, like all the stuff that went on during like the events that happened normally in that town. He kind of missed, you know, if you usually grew up like into your 20s and stuff like that, you experience these certain things in that town or in that city, you know. And so like for Henley Street, which is if you don't know, it's the party central of South Australia, and it's a huge deal. Like it's very intense, and so he pretty much talks about that. He's like talks about how like he missed a lot of stuff going at that time while he was trying to make it work in LA and everything, and he's just like, I see you when I see you, I see you. Like, he doesn't know when he'll come back, or if he will come back but he'll see you, I'll see you when I see you, kind of thing. It's a really good song. Number 6 is Lungs. This song is pretty nice. He says that, he pretty much, once again, see, now that I'm actually saying this out loud, like, I see the order of the album. Like, so we got from the clearing the air about his ex, and now we're clearing the air about like what's been happening since he's been gone, due to fact, like talking to like the people in Adelaide, and how like that's like just like what I've been doing since I've been gone, what I've missed compared to living in LA compared to living in Adelaide. So this song is pretty much, I love one lyric I really want to point out because it'll open up more explanation, is take me back to Adelaide where the haze don't make the block the stars. And I feel like that's pretty much it's just in LA the smog is a huge issue, and it's you like some days you can kind of see you can see up, and some and especially but downtown LA and all the like the deeper part of LA you can nothing like it's kind of nasty in some ways. Like if like I've done it a couple times when I went down to Hollywood, and from not being down there in a while, and it'll just start like you just kind of I felt this like weird like inside me like this grossness and like like from the atmosphere. Okay, so there's grossness from this atmosphere, and it wasn't that great, but you kind of get used to it as you go back and everything. So yeah, so this song it's the song directly it talks about different things. So it talks about the, so I wasn't really clear with this because I didn't like smoke weed or anything back then, but like apparently the thing right now is bikey weed, and bikey weed is pretty much in the majority of Australia you can get weed from like from bike gangs or motorcycle gangs for more of a definition, and pretty much it's just like this song is very smooth. This is a very smooth song. And he kind of talks about like taking me back to Adelaide, and talks about the kind of like what it's like back then. And it's funny, at the very end, he talks about Declan, which is his brother, who he also talks about, like, saying he smokes a lot of cigarettes, his lungs are gonna go black. And he talks about, and he's also featured in the end. Also, who's featured in the end is Nelson Dialect, who was one of Allday's rapper friends. And it's very interesting. Like it's really, really nice. I just love the song. It's a really great song. Number 7 is Rhythm Rhymes, which is a really cool production. It's a really cool production. I love the dreamy sound to it. I love the light singing that he kind of does with it. It's a really, really, really good song. Number 8 is If Not Now, When. So this song is really nice. It's kind of gets to that point where you kind of learn more about what he's doing. So each verse kind of chops up the different parts of what's going on. So pretty much he I'll tell you this now so I can get to the last song. But pretty much the whole thing is that he moved to LA because he had a job, because a record company in LA wanted to sign him, and he was very excited, and he got signed, and he moved to LA to pursue that kind of, like, that side of his world of his career. So he got there, and literally shortly, the company, like, retired, so then he was just he was stranded in LA with no record deal, with just, kind of just there, you know? And so, and I wonder, what I've got from it is that he talks about town to town. So I'm assuming that he kind of went from town to town around there, trying to sort of build his own following and kind of get a record deal from there by himself. So it's kind of interesting that I'm sure that's very stressful. And so, but this song, like, It's Not Now, Then When, is pretty much just talking about how far he got to get to where he was. Like, he's come a long ways from drugs, like, hindering his career and his addictions, and then being broke, and also being broke during living in LA. His ex-girlfriend, how that affected him, and the signing up with Wind Up Records. You know, it's just like it's a lot that happens. And then finally going to the next song, number 9, which is called Wonder Drug, which is the top single of the album. It completely goes in more details about his ex, and more details about signing up with Wind Up Records, and then retiring, and then he's just like there without anything. So he kind of wrote the song, and this is the song that he wrote before he released the album a year later. So that was this, I felt like it was like a cry out for like, this is what's going on right now, you know? So it reminds me of like Demi Lovato's like Sober, where it's just like, this is a song for right now, like I'm not sober anymore kind of thing. And so he pretty much talks about like the whole shit that's been going on since then. And he just like, with all that happening, including with a label issue, the ex-girlfriend, the like coming out from the drug thing, like addiction, and also his friend Pizzo dying. It's just like he survived through all that. It's just amazing. Like, that's a lot of pressure for one, like, all in one row of things are happening. But he survived. He really made it through. And one drug is pretty much him saying, waiting on that one drug, but pretty much him saying, waiting for a miracle, waiting for something to, like, happen to get him back to where he is. And he talks about the rappers, how, like, they kind of spend a lot of money, and he's done the same thing, asking for a loan from his record company, and they're like, no, you know, they hang up on him. So yeah, it's a really, really good album, and I just, unfortunately, it would be a full-on album, but for some reason, I want to say maybe it's an American thing, or maybe it's like, I don't know, but like, Spotify took out 2 songs. So number 6 was supposed to be Best Life, which I don't have, and number 8 was supposed to be What Do You Think, and I don't have that one either. So it's just like, I'm gonna look them up and try to find them some way. I know YouTube probably has it. But yeah, so that's the whole album of Starry Nights Over the Phone, and it's a beautiful, beautiful album, and it just really keeps you up on what's been going on with him, and I just love the progress of what his album talks about with his real life going on. It's just, he's definitely underrated, completely underrated. Like, it's just, I hope that he gets even bigger from here. Like, he's already lightly big as he is, but I hope he gets even bigger in America, because I really feel like he deserves it. Definitely what he's been going through, and definitely his talent just speaks itself as what he deserves, that like recognition. So hopefully this video, and hopefully more stuff of me talking about him more, will actually like boost it in some way. But yeah, leave a comment below. Tell me what you thought about the album. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you get like the whole reference that he was talking about? That I hope I really broke down as much as I can about his history, about what's going on since that hiatus. Make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. And I hope everybody has a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.